And I'm thinking my goal is deep. And God will remind me that goal ain't deep enough. I always use RTD as an example. I just wanted a Bible study, that was it. But God wanted something else. I'm saying to you, what is it that you really haven't really allowed God to show you that it's much deeper than what you think? Some of you got some business concepts, and God is saying that you think that you can't kick it off now because you lack, but you don't see how much you already possess. Everything you need is already within you. Jesus said something to the people one day when he was preaching that messed them up. He said, the kingdom of God is within you. And we all miss it. That means that you have within you, upon your salvation, you are already connected to everything you could possibly need in life. If God said that the enemy is already under your feet, that means he's your footstool. Then why do you keep getting confused that he's in your face? You ever have somebody loud and make it seem like they a threat, but you realize they ain't really, it's nothing but hot air? Y'all follow what I'm saying? What I'm saying to you is sometimes the problems in our life scream so loud that it has deceived you into believing it could actually stop you. And you start agreeing with your idea or the perception of limitation. Never agree with the thought that you are limited. Because once you are convinced of that, what can God even do for you? Think about it. If you touch and agree that this is the best salary you can have for your life, then what can God do with you? If you believe this is the best kind of relationship you could possibly be in, then what does God need to do for you? You have to believe beyond the limitations that are being placed upon you. You must declare, this here is temporary. And what happened, this man was thinking that healing was the only thing he needed to get. But in reality, God wanted to make him whole. Go to the next, watch this. Jesus saith unto him, rise, take up thy bed and walk. And I can't tell you enough. This man had been coming to this place. I don't know how long, but we know he's been sick 38 years. And he's laying down on this bed, on this mat. Many of us in this room, when we came into the new year, I said, make sure nothing from 2017 drag itself in to 2018. Amen? But how many of us know we've been trying to peek in? You can get out of it, right? The problem and the struggle with dealing with an issue so long, if you can understand what I'm saying, there's even this crazy comfort in problems you've had for a long time. Because it's familiar. The spirit of familiarity will destroy your destiny. Because why? Because it will give you the okay not to keep pursuing for greater, because this is what you know. And there's a lot of people that have not ascended to their potential because they've been way too comfortable with what's familiar. Are y'all hearing me today? There's a lot of people who won't leave the circle they're in. Won't break out of the cage that they're in. Because they've been there so long. I know how to do this. I know this right here. And the reality is, even though it ain't right, even though it ain't good, but it's what you know. And then you got folks quoting stuff that ain't scripture. And we'll go with the devil you know, then the devil you don't know. Why we hanging with devils at all? When do we get, do you see that right there? Do you see that right there? I just got that like right now, right? That we done we done walked away from the idea of shunning the devil. We done got into a place where we shopping. Oh, this devil right here. I like this devil over here. Why do we want devils in our life? Do you know what that does to your self-perception and value, that you now are negotiating what devils to allow in your life? So what I'm saying to you is, Jesus has an uncanny way of simply not allowing whatever obstacle is in your way to matter. Because he walks up to an impotent man and says, rise. How many times in the Bible a person stands before the Lord with their issue, with their struggle, with their sickness, with whatever problem they have, and he tells them to do something that is contrary to the condition that they're in. God tells broke people to start business. He tells folks who ain't never done good in school to go to college. He tells people who ain't never been, lived the life of a saint to start a church. He tells people, he completely contradicts and goes against what you think is a handicap. He tells this man to get up, and I always say this, why does he say take up the bed? Look at your neighbor and say, because you don't need to look back. Let me tell you this. If he left that bed there, then it'll always be available to return to. Are y'all hearing me? That's why every time God addresses a man who's laying in the bed, he tells him to get up, and he tells him, when you get up, take that bed up with you. And some of you in here, and we be real, you've risen before. You've seen spurts of greatness, of you walking by faith and being godly and trusting God like never before. But the mistake is, you left the bed. So when difficulty came, you was like, oh man, it might as well. And you go back to what God just delivered you from. Many of us done rose before, but you keep leaving the bed there. That's why some of y'all will leave that job. And when stuff gets rough, well, I know that they'll keep undervaluing you. That's what they're going to do. Well, I broke up with them, but I'm alone now, and maybe I can go back, and they will keep undervaluing you. Man, I had to cut my friends off. Well, I try to go over here, but I'm going to go back. They don't treat me right all the time, but I'm going to keep going back to where they undervalue you, because you learn how to be undervalued and still laugh. You learn how to be undervalued and still go to work. You learn how to be undervalued and still stay committed. You learn how to function in dysfunction and detour your destiny all at the same time. So that every time somebody gives you a critical word about moving forward, you be like, well, I don't know about that. God's still working on it. Excuses for laying back in that bed. It says here, he tells him to take up the bed and walk. That walk is important. Walking, first of all, on the physical level, is one of the healthiest things you can do. For mind, body, and spirit, they say, to walk. But you need to put distance between what's been familiar to you. The reason why we don't need you to run, because when run denotes haste, and you may second guess and say you move too fast. But when you walk, you're very. There's a level of confidence and certainty when you walk away from something. Are y'all hearing? Because there's no, when you look back, you ain't got to, oh man, I'm moving too fast, I missed something. No. When you walk, you're going to see everything. You need to take every step and know why you're taking these steps. And you don't need to backtrack. And some of you, we be honest, we in 2018, and y'all been doing a little bit of backtracking in your mind. And God said, no. Forward! He tells this man, rise, pick up that familiar thing to you, and I need you to get the step in. And what happens? And immediately the man was what? Do y'all realize that God always tells you to do something before the healing shows up? We're waiting for the guarantee. God never gives out the guarantee first. He tells him to do something that he's been complaining for 38 years he couldn't do. But God addresses him like he's been doing it all his life. And you know why God talks to you and tells you to do things you've never done like you've been doing it all your life? Because it has been in you all of your life. See, your purpose has been with you all this time. You just didn't dig deep enough to discover it. And so what does he tell him? And it says, and on the same day was the Sabbath. And what it means, that was a holy day. What I'm saying to you, in 2018, God is telling you, look at your toolkit. You got more. This man didn't realize you have determination because you keep showing up. You got faith because you believe. You got endurance because how you gonna be with these issues is still coming. You got a focus because you know every time the Bible said this only happens certain times of the year. So he knew how to pay attention to detail. In other words, your problems that you fought through up until this point gave you more skills than you realized. Let me make it clear. People who invent things and we celebrate learn more from their failures than the inventions. Their inventions are actually a product of their failures. And I'm telling you that God is gathering all of the things you're embarrassed about to make you great. God is gathering all the things that you cried about to show you your worth and your value. Because think about it. You weep and cry about those things because something inside you knew that this couldn't be the end for my life. My last one, right? Often when in line, seeking a move of God, God reminds us the power to move is already within you. Believe. Do y'all realize this man, sick 38 years, been getting in this line, trying to get in the pool, and here it is, he never makes it to the pool, and he still walks away, healed and made whole. Sometimes we put too much value on where everybody else is going, and not realize that just a conversation with Jesus can put you right where you need to be. He thought water was going to make him whole, but all he needed was words. Because words are spirit and they are life. Y'all in here, I'm telling you, some of you are just one conversation with God from being made whole. Not that you haven't talked to God before, but you've been talking to God the way this man started talking to God. You know, people ain't helping me. I'm at the pool, but I can't get in. Folks are jumping in front of me. Stop giving God excuses. Stop telling God who ain't rolling with you no more. Think about it. You ever be a good friend to somebody and they complaining to you about who ain't there and you've been there all the time? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. They be like, man, you ever be with somebody, they say this is what, you're with them. They say stuff like, man, ain't nobody ever helping me. Ain't nobody ever got my back. Ain't never anybody riding with me. And you sitting there like, okay, am I invisible? I gotta do me, son. Tired of being there. Because ain't nobody. As crazy as that sounds, how many times have we done that to the Lord? How many times? God is saying, I've been rolling with you from day one. Day one. Day one, yo. Day one. And you keep putting off on who ain't there. God is saying, when it came to the major moments of your life, I always showed up. It's time to start reminding yourself in 2018, whatever you're pursuing right now that has not arrived, whatever it is you're seeking that has not manifested, God is saying, as long as you know you're rolling with me, we're going to arrive on time. Right. This man had been standing in this line to only have to be relieved by a conversation. Some of you in here, you're looking to get in the pool, and somebody keeps jumping in front of you because you're going to get more than what they're getting. They want a seasonal blessing, and God is trying to make your life better from now on in. Don't settle for seasonal blessings when God is trying to transform your entire life. Y'all hearing me today? Believe, y'all. You gotta believe. The power is within you. God would never drop you anywhere on this planet and you not already have within you the ability to survive and thrive and flourish. Stop allowing the enemy to think to have you keep rehearsing what you don't have. You have everything you need. I challenge y'all for the next 30 days, when you get up in the morning, that you tell yourself that through Christ I have everything that I need. Everything that I need. I'm telling you, mark it on your calendars, 30 days from today. Spend every 30 days when you wake up, soon as you rise, I have everything that I need. Through Christ, I have everything that I need. Because what's going to begin to happen, I told you my first point for today was that faith is a magnet to the Lord. The more you throw out the belief, the more God is drawn to you. And what does that mean? Because that sounds real deep and mystical, right? God is drawn to you. What that means is the people that are necessary to make certain things unfold in your life will start gravitating towards you. Because when God moves towards you, everybody he got designed to help you moves towards you. But every time you doubt and are fearful, you repel the people that you need in your life. This is why does the devil fight you so hard not to get a word, not to pray, not to come to service? Faith cometh by hearing and hearing by the word of God. When your faith level is down, your magnetism to get God to come through is down. But when your faith level is high, the probability of the breakthrough is higher. Start drawing God closer by believing. Everybody stand to their feet. Lord.